I've got to confess something. I was really humbled this morning. I was talking to one of my sisters back in Chicago, and she was telling me that she had talked to someone that I haven't talked to in a long time, probably in about almost a year, 3/4 of a year. And she was giving me a rundown on some of the things that's been happening with that person, and stating that they've been keeping him in prayer and his family and so forth. And I'm not going to lie, my heart wasn't fully right regarding the man because, as I shared with her, and I didn't go into the details of it with her, but I did tell her, I said, I haven't talked to him in a long time. I have talked to this other person that he's connected with because that other person has actually stayed in touch with me also. I said, but in terms of the person you're mentioning, I haven't talked to him and he hasn't reached out to me. And I went on to tell her, I said, it's interesting that people know how to find you when they need something or when they want something of you. But otherwise, you can't find them and they ain't looking for you. Because, I'll share with you all, this person, I'll just say it like this. The person had a need. And the person came to me, and the Most High, favored me to be able to step in at that moment. But ever since that, it's been real dodgy. I mean, I don't hear from this person. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but the bottom line is I don't hear from the person. It is what it is. So I just kind of wrote it off and just said whatever. But I made this statement to my sister, and she was like, that's a whole statement right there. She had me laughing. She's like, that's a mic drop statement right there. She's like, yeah. She's like, I didn't tell you what I said. I said, yeah. I said, it's good that we don't forget about people and that we continue to pray for them. I said, but it's also good that we don't misuse their help. We don't misuse their trust. That was the thing that I said. And I was saying that in regards to that individual. And that's when she spoke up saying, okay, mic drop, that's a whole statement right there. And I started laughing. And we talked and we ended up getting off the phone. I went back to sleep. I woke up, and here's what I believe the Most High has put on my spirit. The same mic drop statement that I made regarding that person, that is good that people don't abuse others' help, that people don't abuse others' trust. And I was stating that regarding that particular individual. The Most High reminded me that I'm guilty of the same thing toward him. Mic drop. In fact, most of us probably are guilty of the same thing toward him. We seek him out when we desire something, when we need something. Sometimes it's just when we want it. And he being who he is, lots of times we end up with it. We give him praise for a while. Then we find ourselves slipping and sliding down the same slippery slopes that he had to rescue us from before. And in some instances, we don't communicate with him as much as we did while we were seeking him for the thing that we were after. The relationship becomes really dodgy. It becomes really sketchy. But as soon as hard times hit again, because they typically will hit in one form or another, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's a death, a termination on the job, something that just impacts you in a way where you know you need some help, that's when all of a sudden you pop back up at his door, you're ringing his phone, so to speak, and you're saying, Father, I need you. I need help. I'm just as guilty. Sure, have I seen some growth and maturity in myself regarding that? Thank you, Father. Thank you, Abba. I have. But sure, there's much more to do, I know. Maybe I should say much more, but there's more. I know that. There's more. It's interesting that I would get that revelation at this time because it was a year ago, almost at this time a year ago, when the Most High put me in a real deep study of the book of Exodus. And when I tell y'all, he walked me through Exodus. I'm actually kind of looking down at my Bible right now. He walked me through Exodus. He would not let me get out of Exodus. I mean, it might have been, a month or two. I don't know, but I've got so much writing in a couple of different journals and all through my scriptures in Exodus, just in Exodus, and then over to Numbers. But Exodus, he took me through that. I literally was crying through certain sections of that book because of how we were doing our Creator, how we were doing our protector, how we were doing our provider. I mean, just the constant back and forth. He protect, we clown. He'd give us what we needed, what we asked for, we'd clown. He wanted to kill us a couple of times. Moses stepped in. Moses, that is, stepped in on our behalf. Most High relented. And guess what we did in order to thank him? We clowned. And he could have been like, you know what? They've abused my trust. They have abused my help so much and so many times that I'm going to cut them off, period, permanently. But that's not the way the story goes. Yes, we've received some punishments, but it's all to bring us back home to him, deliverance. So that's a message within itself. I was humbled to have to face the fact that the same thing that I called myself, I guess, upset or ticked off regarding this individual is the same stuff that I have demonstrated toward the Most High. We have to be mindful. So what did I take from that? I took from that to be mindful of my attitude, but also mindful of my speech, mindful of what I'm saying. Because the same stuff I'm putting out there regarding somebody else could very well be the same stuff that looks like me. So I'm going to keep my mouth closed and just keep myself in front of the Father and say, Father, just please continue to work on me. Work on me in Yahushua's name. Amen.